throughout today, we have shared incredible spotlight stories from around the globe of how educators are making a global impact in their classroom. But for this very last session, our spotlight story is going to be a conversation with one of our organizing team members, Dr. Alex Boggs. So I'm going to do a little bit of an intro here while he kind of comes on. And obviously, I love to ask questions. So he's stuck here for the next, 10 minutes or so. But Alex is a great member of our organizing team. But we joked earlier that we don't know really what each other does in our day-to-day life. We work together in our global impact life. So it's been really fun. But Alex is an assistant professor of history at Liberty University and a director of graduate and doctoral studies serving Liberty University School of Nursing. He's taught history, historical documentary film, and research capstone courses for over a decade. Outside of teaching, much of his time is spent working with doctoral students, finishing their scholarly projects or dissertations, which, oh my gosh, I have written a dissertation and I wouldn't want to help anybody else with theirs. So kudos to you for that. He serves as a dissertation chair, reader, and methodologist for qualitative dissertations for teachers and nurse educators. He is an ISTE and ASCD community leader and works with the Global Impact Educators to organize our annual conference. He's done many, many, many other things, but for time, we'll get started. So first of all, thanks for chatting with me, Alex. I appreciate you. Yeah, so let's start with what drives your work with Global Impact. What made you want to join our heavily volunteering team here at Global Impact?
Yeah, so the quick answer to that is, I got a chance to present last year and really loved the whole community here. So that gave me an opportunity to say, hey, man, I really want to lean into this. But even before that, I feel like I've always had a global heart to just go travel the world, see different ways people live and how they interact. History was my first gateway into studying that and studying how other people live. And then I got a chance to study abroad in Germany and met so many different people from so many different backgrounds that really rooted me within the rest of the global community, I think for forever, because I just wanted to be so invested in those around me and those around the globe.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's kind of similar to my own story, and listening to Abir talk about the step migration and thinking that a lot of people do kind of navigate towards or gravitate towards their own cultures because they don't have the opportunity to travel and experience other cultures. Like you, I've spent time in other places like Haiti and things like that. And it really was an eye-opening experience. And I think a lot of our team would say that the reason we have such a passion about global education is because we've seen other cultures and we've experienced the beautiful world of just mixing all of our cultures together and learning so much from other people. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your current role?
Yeah, so I've never been a simple person to have just one job. So I like to say I'm bald because I have to wear a lot of different hats. So I teach history. I work with a virtual K-12 school, teaching high school. I also teach undergrad, modern European history, and then I created and teach documentary film. So in a lot of different places, but I spend most of my time reading dissertations, organizing our dissertation process, working with faculty, students, to make sure that we have a really well-oiled machine within the School of Nursing to, equip nurse educators and send them out to the field to, fill in the gap of where we're missing nurses within this critical shortage of nurses at the bedside. So that takes faculty to train those nurses. So it's kind of like this whole chain in the whole scheme of it all. But yeah, I wear a lot of different hats, and I don't think I would have it any other way. I like to be busy, thinking in a lot of different ways, and serving, giving my talents in as many ways as I can.
Yeah, that's great. And I think we heard from some of your colleagues earlier in a spotlight session talking about the School of Nursing from Liberty University. So that's a cool kind of connection here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So our theme today has been elevating human stories, and honestly, it's been an incredible day for me personally of amplifying both student and teacher voices. There's been lots of countries represented and cultures represented, and really, it's truly been a joy to kind of help and be on this team to put this together. But we started the day with Rowan asking me questions. And one of her questions I'm going to ask you: how does the kind of deeply local impact you're currently making in your role translate into a broader global vision for educational change?
That's a really great question. I often feel like I don't make a lot of local impact, just because a lot of my roles tend to be virtual, online based. But I can see deeper roots being planted, that aren't necessarily local to me, but plant roots elsewhere and spread out. Um, One of the ways that I feel like I can give back is by working with students, to help them just connect dots. And that's always what I've felt like my mission has been as an educator. No matter where I'm at, I feel like if I can just get through to students, them to think critically, or really with dissertation students, that's where I've seen a lot of recent growth, and progression, is if I can get them to feel like they are confident and competent, to be able to produce good work, be researchers, and get to that finish line. I feel like that's really somewhere that I think I can make lasting impact. We heard from Namia Joshi today, and she talked about, each one teach 10.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of how I can be, within this global system, even though I feel like I'm not necessarily as locally rooted as I would like to be. But I can have all these tendrils of a tree because I'm able to connect and teach with teach 10, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah. Namia's session was really great. That's a good reminder. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Not like this isn't already on the spot, but like seriously on the spot. Do you have a incredible student impact story or a project you're really proud of that you can share that I think you do have more impact, locally than you might realize? I think I do the same for myself. But do you have a student project or impact moment or light bulb moment or something that you can share that kind of points to your work?
That's a really good question.
Should I buffer a bit while you think about it?
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's so many little things that I've been able to do, that kind of, build up the rest of it. So I don't know if I have anything that's like fresh on my brain. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of is creating a documentary film course.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my heart is, in a lot of ways. Any way that I can promote storytelling, I feel like that's kind of something that helps me equip students to go out and communicate history and really think critically. Making that course to be able to be offered online and to connect with students and to teach film, that's probably been one of the most significant things for me personally, but also that impacts others. I've had a lot of students say, I've never thought about history like this, through this lens. And I think if they hadn't taken a class like this, I don't think they would have thought differently about history, thought about it as a way, or that they could make it through film. They only could do papers before, but now they could communicate through film. So that in summation is kind of my baby, as it were, because I want students to feel like they can communicate in more than just one way.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. And that's incredible. It's amplifying student voices. It's kind of what I was talking about with the beer. Like, how do we help students, no matter their age? It could be K-12 or post-secondary or doctoral students, or even ourselves. How do we learn to own our stories, our own narratives, and not be ashamed of our voices? Even as adults, the imposter syndrome or imposter phenomenon is so strong in a lot of really incredible speakers. That's been something I've been learning a lot about, is this imposter syndrome. And it's like, I've been in this group and it's with incredible presenters, and they're talking about how they're so nervous before they speak. And it's just that idea. But so how do we really own our stories and amplify voices? I think that's the incredible work that you're doing. I'll have one final question for you, and then I'll stop pestering you. But this is our closing session for Global Impact. So as we close today, our theme has been elevating human stories. So what is one piece of advice you have for any of our educators with us now live or watching this as a recording who want to start elevating human stories?
Yeah, I would like to say that I have an original thought on this, but I really want to reference some of the people that have talked today. So let's see, Namia talked about this in her session, going from consumers to producers.
Mm-hmm.
That's one aspect of it. Our first session, they talked about the same thing, going from consumers to producers. That was Samar and Kamal. Yeah, they talked about all these different ways of communicating. So I think that's the key. You have to put students in the driver's seat and put yourself in that driver's seat to communicate first your own story, and then allow others to communicate theirs. We can say the words and we can communicate our own stories, but we also have to be able to listen to others. And I think that's part of that exchange to grow and engage with storytelling.
Yeah, I love that. It's listening, and to Margaret's comment, it's vulnerability. We have to model for students, what does that look like? How do we elevate human stories, but how do we also show vulnerability ourselves in modeling that? Because if you don't earn students' trust and treat them with dignity and respect, they're not going to want to do anything. It's the Rita Pearson TED Talk. Kids don't learn from teachers they don't like. So I love that. Well, thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate you jumping on. I think you're doing incredible things, both with our team and in your day job. So thanks so much for hopping on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.